Today we are going to study Psalm number 91, which is very dear to each one of us. And for many of Christians, Psalm number 91, perhaps this is the only Psalm which they recite. Every day they recite, they pray. The other Psalms, I don't know, but Psalm number 91, of course, our fellow Christians focus very much. It's a Psalm of confidence. And some people say, so it's a Psalm of, actually the Psalms of confidence, as you know, it comes under the type Psalms of laments. For example, Psalm number 23. It's a Psalm of confidence, but 23 we don't understand. We cannot easily understand why it is included in the type laments, because there is no lament there. Yeah, the reason is that you see the element confidence alone is highlighted and made into a poem. The confidence, the expression of confidence is part of the type laments. So when that alone is highlighted, that psalm also is considered as a psalm of lament. So this is the type is lament, and of course a psalm of confidence. In the appearance, it is an exceptionally good psalm of confidence. Okay. Yoshev Sefer B'Tzel Shaddai Yitlona Yoshev Sefer Elyon B'Tzel Shaddai Yitlona. Beautiful it is, huh? Yoshev Sefer Elyon. Okay, so let us say the focus is on the confession of faith and then the consolidating speech of God. Confession of faith from the part of the psalmist, perhaps that is addressed to somebody else. So there are two persons involved here. The psalmist is speaking to somebody else, and then towards the end, there is a consolidating speech of God who assures directly, verses 14 to 16. Okay, so Psalm number 91, there are various proposals for the context, the historical context. If we read verses 3 and 4, we might think that is the psalmist is seeking refuge in the temple, because seeking refuge in the temple, such a custom was there. So 3 and 4, for he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions. Under his wings you will find refuge. You see, especially that verse 4. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. The Ark of the Covenant, as you know, above the Ark of the Covenant, by the side of the mercy seat, two cherubim, the statues of two cherubim were placed. And you see, the wings were stretched. Okay, the wings of these cherubim were stretched out, and so you see, it looks like you see that is could be it's a possibility. Okay, he will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. So there are people who say that, you see, this psalm is Yes, the historical context of this psalm is when the people came to the temple for refuge in order to be saved from the oppressor, or for those who are trying to punish him. Okay, so that's it. Another possibility. This is a thanksgiving after getting healing from sickness. Okay, some people think so. They say, verses 5 to 7, you will not fear the terror of the night, or the arrow that flies by day, or the pestilence that stalks in darkness, destruction in the waste of at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 fall at your right, but it will not come near to you. So you see, you are rescued from the sicknesses and other attacks. You are healed, or you are rescued some way. Okay, so thanksgiving. Some people say, no, it is a part of entrance liturgy, liturgical entrance. Okay. Other group of people say king's prayer before a war, because there are war imageries here. Buckler, shield, okay, arrows, okay. So king's prayer before a war. Another thing, testimony of a person who has come to believe in Yahweh. So you see, there are a lot of proposals. We don't know the exact, there is no way to find out the exact context. Anyway, from all these explanations, we can come to a conclusion that this can be made use for various life situations. Yes, apt for various life situations. My dear friends, even during this the Oki time, okay, you remember that cyclone that hit Kerala, the Oki, the flood, flood time was terrible. Then the COVID time, actually, the people recited Psalm number 91. So you see, this can be made use in various life situations. Okay, even for our COVID time, this is made use of. Okay, so we don't know exactly the historical context, but this is applicable to a lot of situations. Now, interestingly, a lot of metaphors we can find for protection. Abundant metaphors for protection. Shelter, verse 1. Shadow, refuge, mahse, 2 and 9. Fortress, Metsuda, verse 2. Feather or wing, Evra. Then wing, Kanaf in verse 4. Shield, Sinna, shield in verse 4. Buckler, Sokhra, buckler. It's the same as shield. That also in verse 4. Then dwelling place, Mawon. So you see, all these are very clear imageries or metaphors of protection, the divine protection. Okay, so we note at the very beginning of the study, we note this richness of metaphors, the use of metaphor in the Psalm number 91. Good. Now, you see, we also note that these imageries represent protection in various life situations. For example, shield, buckler, wing, feather, shadow, all these point to a journey, something of journey. Brueggemann points to it. We'll come to it later. And from the living surroundings, okay? So that is shelter, fortress, dwelling place, refuge, okay? Then we can also, you see, we have not started the study. These are all some kind of introduction. Demands also human faith, human desire, human attempts to receive the protection of the Lord. For example, shield and buckler, the imageries. Okay, we are speaking about the imageries, and the nuances. Okay, so shield and buckler. You have to wear it. Without wearing it, you don't get the protection of the shield and buckler. Okay, so the personal commitment, our endeavors, our prayer, our faith, our desire, all these are important for divine protection. And you see, in the case of dwelling place, refuge and shelter, we need to enter into it. We need to enter. Okay, the dwelling place or refuge or shelter, okay, they don't move to us, but we have to. So just these imageries, you see, these imageries or these metaphors, they have got a dimension of personal involvement also, okay, a human dimension also. Good. Now we go to the structure of Psalm 91. We can find a threefold structure basing on the way the addressee is referred to. The addressee is referred to. In verses 1 and 2, the third person reference. Okay, third person, he. In certain translations, for example, NRSV, this is NRSV, I see from the very beginning you. But in the Hebrew text, it is not so. In the Hebrew text, it is the third person. Rather, in verse 2, there is a possibility of understanding it as first person. Omar. First person possibility, but BHS, Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartensia, BHS, that Greek text, Hebrew text, gives in the footnote that it should be read as a third person. Okay, so verses 1 and 2, third person, general statement about the one who trusts. You who live in the shelter, no, I can't say you, no. He who lives in the shelter of the Most High abides in the shade of the Almighty will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. So it is he, okay, he. Though there is a direct quotation, okay, about his speech or about what he says to the Lord. Okay, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Okay, so he. Then 3 to 13, you find you, a second person. Okay, Psalmist statement addressed to the one to whom he is speaking. Okay, you, 3 to 13, and then 14 and 16 clearly it is God who speaks in this strophe. Okay, God's statement about the one who trusts. All right, now we go to the first strophe, the one who trusts, verses 1 and 2. The content of this strophe is very direct. Trust in God who is faithful. That's it. Trust in God who is capable. Okay? He is able and he is faithful. Okay. Now, we say trust. What type of trust? Total trust. Trusting in him day and night. You know why we say day and night? The verbs used there are yashav and lean. Yashav means to dwell. And lean, that is to spend the night. But in the translations, we don't find that. Okay, that night element. That night element is not found. For example, in NRSV, You who live in the shelter of the Most High, who abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Okay. Where this temporal dimension, this night dimension is not visible. This translation, that verb lean directly means spend the night, but most of the translators have given it as simply as abide, but night. So actually, the complete trust as day and night dwelling. That is it. Okay. So please note. Please note that verse 1 and 2 point to a trust day and night. Trusting God day and night. That element is there, which the translations do not, some of the translations do not bring out. Okay, good. That's it. Now, the terms shelter, shadow, then refuge, and fortress. Okay, these are terms which we find often in the Psalter. Shelter, setter. Setter is, it is hiding place. Hiding place. You find it in Psalms 27:5, 31:20, 61:4. And sail, shadow, sail. You find in Psalm 17:8, 36:7, 57:1, 63:7. Okay, and they are often found together. Okay, with the terms of refuge, machse, refuge, which is found in a lot of verses, and the fortress, Metsuda. Okay, I have given there. So these four things very often come together. They are expressed together. So friends, protection theme is abruptly introduced in the first strophe in a condensed form. Trust in God is the key to utmost security. Trust in God is the key to utmost security. Okay, now we go to the second strophe, that is 3 to 13. Let us see that. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, or the arrow that flies by day, or the pestilence that stalks in darkness, or the destruction that weighs at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord your refuge, the Most High your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, no scourge come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent. You will trample underfoot. Okay, 3 to 13. Verse 3 starts with key, the conjunction key, which means indeed. It can mean a lot of things. Indeed, because, when, all these are possible, but here means indeed, expressing the surety at the very outset, at the very beginning of the strophe. Okay, actually, verses 1 and 2, they are general statement about the trust and the fidelity of God, trust of man and fidelity of God. But you see, the trust element The practical dimensions are mentioned here in 3 to 13. The practical dimensions. You see, I have written it there. There is no place or time or problem beyond God's ability to protect. Place, time, problem. Let us come to the place dimension. Protection everywhere. Protection everywhere. God's protection is assured in any place. You see, it is Walter Brueggemann, who has proposed this. It's a good proposal from his part. The psalmist offers a secure place and a secure journey. Okay? The psalmist offers a secure place and a secure journey. Now, for the reference to secure place, please check verses 1, 2, 9 and 10. You see there, 1 and 2 and 9 and 10, there are references to, you see, shelter, it's a place as you know, shelter, then abiding, okay, place, refuge, fortress, these are all places. And in 9 and 10 also, we find places, dwelling place, tent, all these are there. Okay, so protection of place. Now, a secure journey. The journey theme also is found here. Okay, so you see, fowler's snare. So actually, snare is placed on the way. And as you go, as you move, you get trapped. That is the way. So the movement dimension is there. Okay, you see the pinions, the wings. Actually, the wings remind us of Exodus. The movement. Okay, God who gave them shadow. God who expressed himself as the cloud over them, cloud, and giving them shadow, protecting them from the sun. So you see, movement, journey, okay, journey. This wing, the wing element. You see the as if of a bird that moves along with the people who move. You see, giving shadow, protection. So this movement dimension is there. And 11 to 13, there you find it, this journey dimension or movement dimension. To guard you in all your ways, you see, that movement, that journey dimension is very clear there. Dashing your foot against a stone, there also the movement is clear. When you walk, okay, you hit against a stone. If you are not walking, if you are not moving, or if you are staying at home, this does not happen. So on the way, yes, okay, there also this walking imagery is there. So friends, you see why Brueggemann says the psalmist offers a secure place and a secure journey. That means Yahweh is the protector everywhere. The spatial dimension, everywhere. The spatial dimension, whether you are at home, whether you are on move. Okay. Now, next comes the temporal dimension of protection. Protection always. The temporal dimension. Protection always. Okay. 5 and 6. 5 and 6 point to this temporal totality. 5 and 6. Focus on that time reference, time element. So you see, very clearly it is stated, night, day, darkness, noonday. Okay, so very it is very clear that this protection is offered for 24 hours, for whole time. Okay, protection always. Now the third, protection from all kinds of attacks in any situation. Okay, I told you there is no place. You see that red colored thing and then three black things: place, time, or problem. Okay, now the problem or the situation. You see the imagery is used, and my dear friends, it is not easy to understand the literal or even the metaphorical meaning of each thing. It's not easy. Trap of the fowler or the snare of the fowler in verse 3. What does it mean? Most probably, of course, there is this dimension: unexpected things, unexpected troubles, and devised by somebody else. Okay, these two things are there. Unexpectedly, one is trapped, and this trap is there because somebody has put it there. Okay, so trap of the fowler. But directly, what does it mean? If you ask me, I'm not able to say, because maybe some kind of deception from the part of your enemies or even from the friends. We don't know. These are all guessworks. We can only guess. From a study point of view, it is not possible to understand what exactly it is. You see, pestilence 3 and 6, pestilence, protection from pestilence, then protection from terror, protection from 4, 5, and 6 could be demonic powers. That is what commentators say. For protection from demonic powers, perhaps some references to the experience of the Israelites. Experience of the Israelites in Egypt. Okay, they were troubled by plagues. Could be something of that sort there. And in verse 5, there it speaks about terror. We don't know what the terror is. Verse 5, you will not fear the terror of the night. What is the terror of the night? Or the arrow that flies by day? Or the pestilence that stalks in darkness? Or the destruction that waits at noonday? Commentators say that this is about demoniac attack, some demoniac powers. Maybe some kind of story that was existing among the people of that time. Could be that. Even in our place, there are a lot of such stories, even superstitions. In the night when you go, there will be somebody coming and asking you for chunamba. Okay, then what happens? Oh, that is yakshi. You see, such stories everywhere. You see, when Jesus was walking on the water, the disciples cried out, "Oh, ghost, ghost, ghost." You see, night time, and sea, turbulent sea, and walking on the waters. Who else? Oh, only ghost. That's maybe such stories they heard from their childhood and remained in their mind. So such things could be that. Also, that could be the context here. Then, of course, there is reference also to violence and war. Violence and war. Verse 7. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right, but it will not come near you. You see, seems to be a war context where thousands die. Okay, then the wicked, verse 8 points to that. You will only look with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. So the role of the wicked in the troubles created for the psalmist, okay, is also mentioned here in verse 8. Okay, then reference to wild animals, that is a metaphor, of course. Wild animals in verse 13. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. All these. So, friends, these are all metaphors. We cannot find out the exact meaning of all these things, the minute details of all these things. What does this attack mean? What does that attack mean? Actually, this is a poem, and the exaggerative language is made use here. Okay, so exaggerative language points not to the minute details. Okay, so we cannot understand the minute details from this exaggerative language, but they all point to the emotional aspect. You see, when you say, oh, that was a chaos. You see, I went to the city and that was a chaos. Oh, what is chaos there? Oh, there was some traffic problem. It was only a traffic problem, but you use the term chaos. Okay. In our languages, we have such expressions. When people say, oh, it was really overflowing. Was it overflowing? Or the gathering, the crowd, overflowing, what does it mean? It's nothing. So, you see, these are all language of exaggeration. Actually, what do the speaker want to say? Oh, he wants to show the intensity. He wants to show the emergency. Okay, you want to. So you show the emotional aspect using exaggerative language. So let us not search for the minute details of these metaphors. Rather, let us more think about the emotional dimension of it. Because you see, the fear, the frightening things, the emotional dimension. So how intense the frightening situation is, that is what is intended by the use of this exaggerated language. So then reference to the angels on the way, verses 11 and 12, could be reference to Exodus 23:20, 11 and 12. Let us see. He will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone. Angels taking care of you. Beautifully imagined. Angels taking care of you. I still remember that picture which I saw in my childhood. The guardian angel who leads two children. There's a bridge, and it's a risky bridge, dangerous, because there are loopholes. You can go down, but the angel leading the little ones. Okay, good. Friends, one of you please read Exodus 23:20, where God promises to send his angel before you, for the people of Israel. Yes.
See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared.
Okay, that is the promise in Exodus 23:20. Psalm number 91 refers to angels who protects you on the way. That's a beautiful imagery. Now, we come to the last portion, 14 to 16, where God Himself promises. And you see, the personal closeness in verses 1 and 2 is concretely dealt with here. Personal closeness in verses 1 and 2, what is that? You live in the shelter of the Most High, who abide in the shadow of the Almighty. You see, that closeness. My refuge, my fortress, my God in whom I trust. You see the closeness. Okay, that closeness is in a special way highlighted here. Those who love me, I'll deliver. I will protect those who know my name. Those who love me, I will deliver. I will protect those who know my name. When they call to me, I will answer them. When they call to me, I will answer them. I will be with them in trouble. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue them and honor them with long life. I will satisfy them and show them my salvation. And show them my salvation. Such a beautiful strophe, you see. God Himself promises. So you see, those who love me, verse 14, those who love me. Actually, those who love me, usually the verb love is ahab. But here the verb is hashak. Ki bi hashak, that is it. For in me, or to me who clings, that's it. To be attached to. This hashak, no? That verb, hashak, means to be attached to. Genesis 34:8.
Hamor said to them, My son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife.
You see, heart set on your daughter. And in NRSV, it is given, my son Shechem longs for you. The heart of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Can anybody else read any other version? The heart of my son longs for. That is NRSV. Yes. Any other version?
Hamor said to him, My son Shechem has fallen in love with your daughter. Please let him.
Okay, good. Fallen in love with your daughter. You see, actually, the verb used is hashak. And hashak is to be attached to. That's it. To be attached to. Okay. So the intimacy is what is intended there. The intimacy, the closeness. Okay. And we should know that the original text begins with ki bi hashak. You see, ki bi, that bi, but is a preposition in, and be in me. So the conjunction ki with emphatic pronoun, okay, with emphatic pronoun united with the preposition. When it is placed at the beginning, That means a specific emphasis is intended. So in me, okay, so better those who love me, no, better me loving. You understand? When we place that personal pronoun at the beginning, um, me has he offended. When we say, we usually don't say, but me means we need some emphasis. In that way, the Hebrew form gives that key be at the very beginning of the verse, and beginning of the verb hashak, which is something rare, which is used only when there is the intention of emphasis. So here it is very clear that this focus is there. Now, those who know my name, Yada Shem, to know the name. Knowing the name is another expression for closeness or intimacy. Knowing the name. You see, knowing the name, that is between friends. Between friends. And, God's name was not revealed. God's name was not revealed to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob. None of these forefathers knew God's name. And God revealed his name to Moses when he asked, "What should I say if the people ask me, who has sent you? Who has sent you? Then what should I answer them? What is your name?" Friends, it is in the context of the need of the people. It is in the context of the miserable life situation of the people. It is in the context of the need of protection and redemption that God revealed his name. You see, those who know my name. Actually, God's promise is the promise of redemption, protection. Psalm number 91 is a psalm of trust, protection, okay, and trusting and getting protection from the Lord. So this intimacy, this love relationship, that is the basis of protection. Relationship is the basis of protection. Okay. Now, when they call to me, those who know my name, okay, my dear friends, let me ask you one thing. This divine name, what is the divine name revealed to Moses? Can anybody say?
I am who I am.
Very good girl. I am who am. Beautiful. Yahweh, Asher, Yahweh. Yahweh, Asher, Yahweh. The verb is haya, to be. Okay, so Yahweh, that means I am or I will be. Okay. Asher, who. Yahweh, I will be or I am. I am who I am. And this revelation slowly led to, you see, that is the revelation of God's name to Moses. I am who I am. Now, when Moses said this to the people, what will have he said? he will have said, Yihye, Yihye, Asher Yihye. Or simply he might have said, Yihye, Yihye. So, he is. He is. And this, in short, slowly might have become, you see, Yihye, the first letter is Yod, then the next is He, the next is once again Yod, but this Yod could be Vav, also for the sake of pronunciation. So, Yod, He, Vav, then towards the end, He. When we say Yihye, okay, that is Yod and Vav. This could be interchanged in certain cases. Okay, so Yihye, that Yihye became Yahweh, Yahweh. Okay, so the divine name. But we should know the meaning of it. What does it really mean? What does that name really mean? It means I am the presence. Presence. That means I am with. I am with the suffering one. I am with the lamenting one. I am with the oppressed one. Okay, would you please read Genesis chapter 3, verse or better from 7 onwards you read.
Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of the slave drivers, and am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, and Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, will worship God on this mountain.
Continue reading, please.
Moses said to God, suppose I go to Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. So friends, you see this revelation of the name of God is in the context of the Lord's condescension, the Lord's coming down and being present in the troublesome lives of the people. So actually, God says, I am has sent me to you. You see, you should tell them, I am has sent me to you. Friends, the very divine name, Yahweh, that is, I am or I will be, simply means I am present. I am present. So, you see, knowing that my name means, you see, knowing my name. Actually, it is experiencing His presence. So it shows intimacy, my dear friends, intimacy. Okay, this is something very important, the very name of God. You see, some people say this divine name, they pronounce it as Yehovah, Yehovah, but that's not the right way to pronounce it. Actually, the Hebrews did not pronounce the name of God because they wanted to keep it sacred. They wanted to avoid all kinds of desecration of the divine name. So they did not pronounce it even. Then what did they say? They put vowels. They put A, O, A, the vowels. A, O, A. And you see, some people who are ignorant about how they read, they will read it as Yahovah. Okay? Yahovah, because these are the vowels put there. But actually, they did not pronounce Yahovah, the divine name Yahweh, they did not pronounce. Instead, they pronounced Adonai. Adonai simply means master, Lord, master. Okay? And you see, that is why the Jews, the Hebrews themselves, when they translated the Hebrew Bible into Greek in the 3rd century BC, before Christ, okay, the Alexandrian Jews, when they translated, you see, this divine name, this Yahweh, was translated as, in Hebrew, Kyrios, Lord. You see, why did they translate it so? Because they pronounced it as Adonai. So, Lord, Master. So, Kyrios. So, the Hebrew mind is very clear from the Greek translation. Okay? And also, you see another thing, because about the divine name, to know the name, this could be a place where we learn things about the name of God. That is why I focus here. Okay, sometimes they pronounced, without pronouncing this tetragrammaton, tetragrammaton, the 4 letters, tetragrammaton, the 4 letters, which are they? Yod, He, Vav, He. These are the 4 letters. The 4 letters in the divine name. Yod, He in Hebrew. Yod, He, Vav, He. So these are the tetragrammaton. But whenever they saw this tetragrammaton, they simply read it as Hashem, the name. Okay, but you see, even if at all you want to pronounce it, this tetragrammaton, the right way to pronounce it is not Yahovah, but Yahweh. How do we know that? We know that from the hexapla of Origin. Origin has placed the biblical text, in a synopsis. Seeing together. Synopsis. Seeing together. So 6 hexapla, 6 versions, various languages. The 6 versions, he placed them together so that anyone who looks at it can compare the text. There, the Hebrew text, Yahweh, is transliterated in Greek language as Yahweh. Yod, He, Vav, He is transliterated into Greek as Yahweh. That is Yota, then Alpha, Okay, beta and epsilon. Okay, so that's the way it is pronounced. Yahweh, Yahweh. Okay, so that's it. Leave it. Now, so that's about the divine name, my dear friends. Divine name. And we should know one thing. The name Yahweh shows the intimacy of Yahweh with the covenantal people, with Israel. So whenever we hear the name Yahweh, Yahweh is the God of the covenant, the God of salvation, God of salvation. Whereas when we hear the divine name Elohim, that is the same God, but from a different angle, that is God of creation, God of blessing, God of all. Whereas Yahweh is God of Israel. Okay, that's fine. So Yada Shem, to know the name, that also shows the intimacy. Beautiful. Okay, but I'm sorry, I took a lot of time for that. Let me see. Now, okay, 28. All right. So now, but I think that was needed. That was necessary. Only in such occasions we can explain these things. Okay. So those who love me, I will deliver. I will protect those who know my name. When they call to me, I will answer them. When they call to me, you see, those who know my name, they can call to me. Friends, those who know the Lord intimately, those who love the Lord, should feel free to call him. That's feel free to call him. Feel to invoke him. Feel free to share your thoughts with him, struggles with him, your disappointments. You see, that feeling is very, you see, when they call me, you see, those who love me, I will deliver. I will protect those who know my name. When they call to me, I will answer them. I will be with them in trouble. Friends, let me tell you, can you count in verses 4 to 16, how many verbs are there with the first person, I? How many verbs with first person?
7.
Yeah, would you please read them out?
I will deliver.
Very good.
I will protect.
I'll protect.
I will answer.
I will answer.
I will be with them. I will rescue.
Yeah, then
I will satisfy.
I'll satisfy. Then there is one more, because show them, the subject is I.
I trust.
So I will show them my salvation. You understand? I will satisfy them and show them my salvation. The subject of that show is I will. Okay. So actually there are 7. What you said is right. But I will be, that is not in the Hebrew text. Simply it is anoki. And the verb is not there. In Hebrew, the verb is not there. But this copula is provided in all the translations because it's a must, it's needed. So the copula is provided, that I will be. That will be is not there in the Hebrew text. Simply it is anoki. Okay, let me just take that and read it for you. Okay, there it is. Okay, ki bi hashak. Apaltehu. Apaltehu. You see, palat. Apaltehu. Okay, the first person is Ashgabehu. You see, Asgabehu. Sabah. Sagab actually. Sagab. You see the second one. Then there is Aenehu. Okay, I will answer Ana. Okay, that is the third one. Then at the center we have Immo Anoki Bitsara at the center. Immo Anoki Bitsara. That Anoki simply means I. Okay. Immo, with him, I in trouble. With him, I in trouble. Of course, that will be is intended. In Hebrew, such popular is not given, but it is intended. Okay, it is just understood that it is there. So we don't take that now. Okay, because there is only Anoki. Then comes Achal Sehu. Okay, Achal Sehu. Then Akabdehu, Kabad. Okay, to honor. Okay, Akabdehu. Then you see Orek Yamim Ashbiyehu. You see Ashbiyehu. Then Eryehu Ra'a. I will show. So there are 7 verbs that I will be is not counted. There are 3 verbs, and after that we have 3 active verbs. Let us say better that is, because to be is a static verb. No, so leave that. Active verbs. So there are 3 active verbs. Okay, with first person, and then comes 4 active verbs. In between there is Immo Anoki Butsara. This is something beautiful. This is something beautiful. Now, you see, the subject of all these 7 verbs, okay, is Yahweh. As you read now, I will deliver, I will protect, then I will answer, then I will rescue, I will honor, I will satisfy, I will show. Okay, 7 verbs with God as the subject in first person. My dear friends, this shows the perfection of God's presence, God's intervention, God's protection. Perfection. So you see, number 7 echo in the biblical number, that line, you see, number 7 is perfection. So there are 7 verbs with God as the subject of these verbs, and God in the first person directly stating, I deliver, I will deliver, I will protect, I will show. You see? And at the center of these 7 verbs, there is this great phrase, or better, great clause. Immo Anoki Vitsara. Actually, you know, Immo Anoki Vitsara. Just by heart it. Immo Anoki Vitsara. Im means with. Immo, that is with a suffix, with him. Immo. You see, Immanuel. Immanuel. Okay, with us God. Immanuel, with us God. Immanuel. So here, Immo, with him, with whom? With us, with human beings who call on him, who trust in him, who love him, who keep contact with him. Okay, is united with him. Okay, immo anoki bitsara. With him, I in trouble. With him, I will be in his trouble. That's it. Bitsara in trouble. But actually, in the time of his trouble, I will be with him. My dear friends, God has expressed, revealed his name in the sense of presence. Presence. God is present. God is present, especially, that's it, immo anoki bitsara. Beautiful. Thank you. Immo anoki bitsara. So, my dear friends, God is present, especially when there is trouble. This reality is very much highlighted in this trophy. Immo anoki bitsara. With him I am, or I will be, bitsara. So whenever we have some troubles, whenever we have some problems, whenever we find ourselves in a very miserable, pitiable situation, please remember that is the best presence of God, the time of the best presence of God. Oh, that is excellent. You see, it is in this context, in the troublesome context of the Israelite people, God revealed his name, and his name is away, asher, away. I am who am simply means I am presence. In your trouble, I am present. That's why I heard somewhere in the Bible, 365 times it is repeated, do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. Do not fear. Why? Immo, or better would be Immaka. With you, Immaka anoki batsar. Immaka anoki batsar. With you, I am in trouble. With you, I am in trouble. Interestingly, as we learn Psalm number 22, okay, you remember 21b. You remember 21b. Karnei Ramim Anatani. That's interesting. Anitani. Anita, not Anatani, Anitani. So 21b. That's beautiful. Karnei Ramim Anitani. From the horns of the oxen, Karnei min Karen, plural, Karnim, then that is, what is that? Construct form, that is Karnei Ramim. Ramim is oxen, okay? So, Mikernei Ramim Anitani. Anita, you have answered, Anitani, me. You have answered me. My dear friends, from the horns of the oxen, you have answered me. You remember what is in Psalm number 22? The suffering, utter suffering. And he pleads to the Lord, Lord, deliver me, help me, I am troubled. And in 21b, we read, Karnei Ramim Anitani. From the horns of the oxen, you have answered me. And there, I explained it. You remember that in two ways. One thing, you see, at the extremity of the suffering, the Lord answered him, or the Lord rescued him. Answering means, in that case, clearly rescued. Second meaning I told you, there is another possibility which I see. This min karnim, okay, this min from the horns of the of the oxen, you have answered me, could also mean the Lord is there on the horns of the oxen. Oh, 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 oh. The Lord is there on the horns of the oxen. He is present there. So the very relationship is trust. Okay? Those who love me, I'll deliver, I'll protect those who know my name. When they call me, I will answer them. You see, actually, this relationship contains trust actually. The relationship and trust go together. If you love the Lord, you trust Him. If you believe Him, or if you are united with Him, you trust Him. And the very trust is your protection. The very trust is your protection. Psalm number 8, you just remember. With the mouths of the babes and infants. Okay? What did He do? Oh, He formed a bulwark. What did the babes do? They simply raised their voice. They can do anything. They can't do anything else. They have their voice and they cry or they moan or they even simply babble. They say something which has no meaning at all. But those voices of theirs are directed to God. And their trusting in God, their total resignation to God, oh, that itself is their protection. Okay, so the very trust is protection. Knowing is trusting. You see, Psalm number 91, verse 2. Interestingly, there we noted, you see, verse 2. My refuge and my fortress, my God, my. 3 times my. My refuge, my fortress, my God. All these show this relationship, loving relationship. And then clearly, in whom I trust. You see, relationship and trust go together. If you love your God, you trust Him. If you trust Him, you love Him. And you fear not. You fear not, because your trust is itself protection. Okay, Psalm number 9, 10. Psalm number 9 and 9, 10. Anybody can read.
The Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. And those who know your name put their trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you.
Okay, good. Those who know your name, there also you see, the know your name. And we already mentioned what it means. Knowing the name, that is loving relationship. Okay, so knowing the name, put their trust in you. Knowing the name and trusting. Experience Him as their protection. You see, that is in verse 9. The Lord is stronghold for the oppressed. Stronghold. 2 times it is mentioned. You see, the Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed. The noun is misgab. And you see the next, a stronghold in times of trouble. Once again, misgab. And interestingly, my dear friends, 19:14, those who love me, I deliver. I will protect those who know my name. That protect, that verb is sagab. Misgab and sagab have the same root. Misgab is noun, sagab is verb, that's all. Okay, so this thing. Okay, so my dear friends, with long life, I satisfy them and show them my salvation. You see, he who entrusts one's whole life has found life. Entrusting one's whole life is in itself ensuring life. That is insurance. We have the insurance policy, God's insurance policy. Okay, and it is not like the insurance policy of governments or even private insurance policies. No, God's insurance policy is the Creator's insurance policy, the insurance policy of the source of life. So when you entrust yourself, your life into the hands of God, actually God Himself assures us our life. Trust is redemption and salvation. Okay, there are a few points there. Oh, it's already 54. Let's go fast. Okay, so this I have already mentioned. The personal pronoun I, okay, abounds in this trophy. The Lord is the subject of 7 verbs. This we have seen. Okay, the 7 verbs, perfection. Number 7 is a biblical number of perfection. So 7 verbs. You see 7 days. No, so 7th day God rested. The 7th day, perfection. Okay, perfection of divine intervention and fruitfulness. At the center of the strophe, there is a verbless sentence. This is what I said. Immo ano ki batsara. This we have said. So the meaning is also clear. God is the presence in trouble. Friends, Kabat, I will honor Him. God honors you. God honors you. Oh, how beautiful it is. God honors me. Kabad. He considers you great, and even He makes you great. The trusting ones will be trusted by God. That's it. The trusting ones will be trusted by God. Luke 18:14. Okay, you see, all those who humble themselves in the presence of God, trusting in Him, okay, you see, the Lord will exalt them. And that is God's protection. Trust is rest. Friends, trust is rest. This we have already mentioned in 127. 127, as we were discussing that, we already mentioned it. Trust is rest. 131, Psalm number 131, I would propose for your personal reading today. 131. Trust is rest. Okay. Now, Christologically, attributing this psalm to Christ. Yes. You see, His was total, full submission to the will of the Father. Into your hands I commend my spirit. That is not simply the last word of Jesus. No. That was the words of Jesus in each breath of His. Each breath. Into your hands I commend my spirit. Into your hands I commend my spirit. My dear friends, tonight, may our breath be proclaiming this. Into your hands I commend my spirit. I trust in you, so I rest in you. Okay, so Christological interpretation and spiritual interpretation, I have done it in a very limited way, but you can do it, you can elaborate it on your own, of course, applying Psalm number 91 to Jesus. And you see Jesus, you see in between as you sung that the birds, the Lord who takes care of the birds, okay, that passage, all these could very well be interpreted in the context of Psalm number 91. So trusting.